Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust talking about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And today we're talking about trap bases and using the storage monitor, an unsuspecting item used to make one of the sneakier trap bases that you can do either in Rust or even Rust Console Edition. So yes, I know we don't currently have access to Rust Plus on the Rust Console Edition, but we do over on PC. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because you can use this right now. Both of us. All of us. So check it out. At first glance, you look at this thing and go, yeah, it looks pretty unsuspecting, right? Like, what could this thing possibly do? Well, let me describe a scenario to you that sounds pretty heady. And this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to set up this trap base in such a way that when somebody takes something out of a box, the trap is set. So, like, let's say this is a base here, and you were to walk in, and let's say this door is blown off. You see doors closed here. Let's just imagine there's a wall here. You walk in, and you only see a few things. Maybe a furnace, maybe not, but then you're like, you see this box here, and then you are like, oh, a box of AKs. Let me take one. And then when you do, the trap has been sprung automatically. You don't have to do anything. And yes, that's what the storage monitor does. Pretty crazy, right? Right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to step through this, show you the exact examples. If you would like to copy this, you can. Then we'll go through the explanation, and then we'll go through and actually do a more realistic scenario here, and then show you how this is wired. Because, you know, the wires are placed slightly different, but as long as you understand it, you should be good to go. But even if you want to actually go through and copy this, we'll have that set up for you as well. If this looks a little bit too complex or crazy for you, that's okay, because electricity is a bit overwhelming at first. I do have what's called the powered basics video already out. I will go ahead and link that now in the upper right hand corner. But don't worry, because we'll also throw this up on the end screen. So if you want to learn the explanation for this first, by all means watch this and then just let it play through, and then you'll see the end screen pop up. If you would like to support the channel above and beyond, totally optional. This supports me, the channel. You can shop the merch down there at the lower just under this video. You see a little icon of a t-shirt. You can hit shop, and you can do all of it inside of YouTube and still watch the video if you'd like to. Okay, so this is pretty wild, right? And I'm sure we'll do multiple videos on this in the future because this one's so heady, but this one's fantastic. We've done a couple different trap bases already, but what makes this so great, and here I'll actually show this functioning as well. So let's say this scenario is you're walking into a base, the door is open in this scenario, and you're to walk in, and all of these wires would be hidden, right? But you come in here, and then you're like, oh, you know, a base. And so you go like, oh yeah, AK, I want that. You pick it up, this closes automatically, and those open. Shotgun traps, 2, 3 shotgun traps, you're donezo. You don't even need a turret for this to work. Heck, you don't even need a big boy battery for this to work. And then automatically, boom, 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 you're down. And then you're somewhere inside the base, and you say to yourself, okay, cool, I got this guy's loot, let me open up and reset the trap. You hit the red switch, everything goes back to normal. The shotgun bay doors go back to normal, and this door opens back up. And if you have this hidden correctly, your door controller is hidden behind there, and hopefully your box is hidden. So now you can already see why this is going to be so heady. Over here we have just a little bit of a box hanging out, because actually back here is the storage monitor itself. Apologies in advance if I sound a little cold, because I'm, you know, getting over a sickness, so you know what I'm saying. Not the serious one, but you know, just standard cold stuff. Okay, so let me go ahead and hold it here while we kind of explain this for those of you that would like to copy the circuit. The one we're doing here, if you look at the memory cell, it's the green box in the center of the screen, excuse me. It's the green box instead of the screen, center of the screen. The left-hand side of that, the yellow wire, is the inverted output, and the regular output, the red part on the top of the green box, is the regular output. So when it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's off. The yellow line represents when it's on, it's off, and when it's off, it's on. A little confusing, but those of you that would like to know. Here's the flow of electricity going through here. Let me go ahead and try to make this larger. Again, the yellow line represents the door that's already open, and it needs to be shut. The red line represents the door that is closed and that needs to be open when this is set. I like to think of it in conditions. It kind of helps break it all down. And the blue wire represents the signal that goes to, well, first you have to power the signal, and the signal is the storage monitor. So because it needs power, obviously it comes out of the splitter here, but this is the trip. This is a pressure plate. This could be a switch. This could be a laser. It could be an HBF sensor. It could be lots of different things. The memory cell is fantastic for activating different conditions. As a matter of fact, we actually have another trap base over here an electric trap base. Same idea, where the trip is the pressure plate, excuse me, and the door opens in the same fashion. If you would like to see this video, as a matter of fact, this is the set for it. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. This one's pretty cool. We also do like a dressing for it over here, so it's an actual like base scenario. Lots of different ways we can make trap bases. It's very exciting. Okay, so okay, let's break it down. So the main power from the black line comes over to the splitter. We only need two things that need power. And here it's powered red to the memory cell. And then we have the blue line, which is the trigger, or yeah, I guess you would call it a trigger, to the storage monitor itself. The storage monitor at this time only takes, oh man, I wish we could compare it to a phone right now. It only takes 1 unit of power. Because it consumes one, you still need it to have another extra unit of power that pushes out, because it's not enough for this to just have one, because after it consumes one power, what is it going to push out the blue line, right? So you need at least two, which is fine. That's perfect. So in this right here on the memory cell, if you look down here, this is our power in. There's 3 states on the side that help control this thing: set, reset, and toggle. Toggles, think of toggle as a light switch. You turn it on, you turn it off, right? Would that be a toggle? No, it wouldn't. I'm trying to think of something else that might be a toggle in real life that like everybody can think of. Anyways, that's a terrible example. Let me go back to, I mean, I guess it kind of is. You toggle it on, you toggle it off. When it's on, yeah, okay, a light switch. So you toggle it on, and then it's always on, then you toggle it off. Here's the other state. Yeah, so I guess a light switch would work. I know, right? Hella confusing. So think of set as on, and think of reset as off. But they stay off until you turn them back on. So in this case, our signal, which is the storage monitor, and the storage monitor only trips when things have entered or left the container it's sitting on, and because of that, it sends a little burst signal, only a tiny one. It doesn't stay on continuously, but it's enough for this to trip its on state, or the set state. And because that's on, you can see both of these are green, the memory cell is active, which closes this door, because remember, yellow is inverted. And then the red door is the active one that actually opens this door controller, and that's why the shotgun trap opens and the other door closes. So in this state, I'll go ahead and just let that sink in for a second, because I know at first you're like, whoa, that's a bit crazy, and I get it. And that's why I kind of hold it here too, so you guys can really copy it if you want to, because some people just want this functionality, and all you have to do is copy this and put it on a wall in your base, and then tuck things away if you would like to. Okay, so in this trap, we need this door to close and this one to open. But for this one over here, we're going to have this ladder hatch trap you. So this is an open state for the door. And we're going to leave this door off so it looks like it got raided. And maybe we'll put a bag on the floor. So in this case, when the trap has been sprung, we want this to, I'm sorry, not this to open, jeez. Oh yeah, I want you to see this. When this is set, right, when somebody grabs something out of this box, we want this door to close and this door to open that has shotgun traps. Boom, boom, boom. And then you have the reset button. Close this door and then close this. Bingo. Okay, so that's how we're going to set it up. I think there's one more piece here. Oh yeah, door controllers, if you didn't watch some of the other videos. Those are nice. These are great because they have different conditions. Let me go ahead and reset the trap here. These have different conditions where if it fails, it'll automatically shut. But what's great is, look, I can actually open and close the door now, and it'll still fail itself shut if it needs to. So really what you want to do is you kind of want to, well, since the light's on, you want to keep the door open. But you can set it in like a weird state like this. So like if you have this like that, and then you set the trap, like this doesn't shut because it already was shut, if that makes any sense. But if you reset it, the trap should go back to normal. So just kind of keep in mind that when the lights are on here for the door controller, that the door should be open. And if you look back here, the red line, hopefully I'm not going too fast, this is off. Okay, so let's go ahead and do an example here. Oh, by the way, what we're going to end up doing, if you looked up here in the corner, because we have CCTV cameras, yes, computer stations and the CCTV cameras, and yes, these are the same cameras that you use to make turrets. You can now place them on a wall, name them, and then actually look directly through them. So in our case, we're going to set this up, and we'll be able to see if the trap's been set or not. So we can be in a completely different room or base and activate things and see what's going on in real time, sounds and everything. It's as cool as you think it is. And if you'd like to know how to get to these different monument codes, or even how to set all of this up, I got your back. I've got the CCTV custom camera setup, baby. This is actually done directly on the Rust Console Edition right now on PTB. I'll go ahead and link that video now in the upper right-hand corner. I would strongly recommend it. It's the best. Like, you get to see the codes. We've used this in an active wipe. It's a blast. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this bad boy up. Okay, so this is going to be our trigger. We're going to try to use the same colors and stuff. What's really great about this is you can use a small battery that does not take any tech trash. So what we're going to do is, just assuming that you have a different power source, whether it's solar or wind power, that's not what this is about. But again, that Power Basics can help explain and cover that. We just have like a generic power already coming in here. So we're just going to deal with what's coming out of the battery. So I'm going to take my wire tool, stable it up under a switch in this case, because I really like to have all these things active or controlled by, excuse me, a switch. So in this case, let's see, the best place probably for us to put this is, because I like to have this spaced out a bit, I think we'll use a splitter first. That's right, that's what we did. We brought the splitter around, and then that's where everything else went. Okay, so right here we're going to put the splitter, then we're going to put the memory cell itself, and then we'll put our red button down here. What's really great about a lot of these is most of the electronic stuff is tier 1 and it's 20 scrap, or yeah, to learn, and then a lot of these things are going to take metal fragments itself. It makes it pretty accessible for everybody. Okay, in this case we're going to take the power out here, which is just the black wire, bring it back down to the top, and yes, we do have the colored wires in the console version. And then what do we do here? Was it red? We're going to take red off of one of the side of the splitters here into the memory controller. Memory cell, or memory controller, either way. Memory controller, I'm saying it like it's freaking, like it's freaking, what do you call it? Like it's a freaking programming language. Jeez, I struck out. So here I'm going to take my power line, and we're just going to drag it into the other room. And yes, you can do this type of stuff in console as well. You can have a line, walk through the other room, kind of staple it up. I guess it's not paramount that you hide this cable because it's already hidden behind the door itself. And so right here you're going to stick in where it says power in, and then power out, you're going to bring it right back out. And then we'll close this door. Where do we bring it back up again? Oh yeah, yeah. We'll just have it go like right here, and then have it go over to the set. By the way, I don't know if I covered this or not, but these different door controllers I've already keyed in. At least oh, I haven't keyed this one in. This is perfect. Okay, so what you want to do for these, you would have a door controller. Oh, I don't have one on this. Oh, wait, we don't need one on this. What am I doing? Okay, so to pair this, this is where the shotgun traps are going to go. You're going to have a door lock on there. Unlock it. Make sure it's green. Go up here and pair it. Oh, wait, did it not pair? It's a good time for us to do it again. Stick it on the door frame. In some cases, you don't have to, but it's good that you do. Just good practice. When it's unlocked and it's close to the door frame that you're referencing, you can click it, use the action button, and then it'll turn green. Then it's paired. Make sure you go back to the door. This is the most important step, and then lock it again. Same with this. We're going to go up to this door frame. I'm sorry, ceiling frame. Unlock it. Door controller right here. Sorry, the sun's in your face. You know it's being weird. Let's go ahead and just place another one, because I want to see the green light. There you go. And then you relock the door. Bingo. Okay, now these are paired to these door controllers. When they have a unit of power going through them, they will open the door, and then when they don't have power, they will shut the door. What's beautiful about door controllers is you can daisy chain them together. The input's on the bottom. Oops. And then there's a pass-through on top, so you can pass it to another one. And these use 1 unit of power apiece, making it very nice to chain together. In this case, we will. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. Okay, so right now, the main power comes out here. If this switch is on, it goes to the splitter. The splitter will split power evenly based off of how many connections there are. In this case, we have 2. The maximum output for this is going to be 10, so that should be more than enough. This will use 1 unit of power, so it takes the 9 and splits it evenly the best it can. And what it's going to do is throw some of the signal here to the blue line. The blue line is going to go out to the storage monitor. The storage monitor is going to detect whether things have entered or left the box that it's sitting on. In this case, we have AK, so you know it doesn't really matter if they add a rock or they take away an AK. The result's the same. It sends a burst of power down the blue line here, back over to the memory cell, and the memory cell output takes that and puts it in the set, which activates this switch. So in our case, our on state for the trap, we want it to be where these doors are open. So in this case, we want this door open and this ladder hatch open. So what we can do, what did we say in the last one? It was red. Red was the active line. So remember, we have two outputs here. We have inverted and then output. The output is on when it's on. So we're going to take this red line and actually put it over here to the door controller at the bottom, and then use the pass-through. I know we can't see it, but we saw the button, so we're actually connected. And then we're going to pass it over to this other door controller that is the shotgun traps. So if this works correctly, when something's taken out, this should open, and then they should be waxed. So let's go ahead and check it out. I do have invincibility on. Oh, I'm also authorized and everything, so. Oh yes, and if we'd like to reset the trap, let's go ahead and make, let's bring up our wire tool, use the reload button, and then bring the output for the red button over to the reset. What makes this so great is you don't need this powered because it creates a little small burst of power by itself. Every time you click the button, it'll send a small burst of power over to the controller here, the memory cell, excuse me, and then resets the condition back to 0. What's beautiful though is this will even do it if this cell's not active, which is great. So let's go ahead and turn on the circuit. I always like a way to control the power and to make sure, like, let's say you don't want this trap active, that's why we have this switch here. So let's go ahead and I'll leave this here for a second so you guys can see this. Hopefully everything's on the screen, and the marching ants do help. I love this trap because it doesn't use turrets, because they're expensive, and a lot of times you want to use some of the cameras for some of your trap basing. And then also, I mean, it also takes a lot of scrap, but low power consumption, so you can do this with a solar panel. You can have things pre-charged a little bit. It's great. You can hide solar panels a lot easier than you can hide the windmills. I always call them like wind turbines, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we did this correctly, let's go ahead and be the grub. You're like, oh, look, a door. You come inside, you go, oh, there's nothing in here. Let's say there's a wall there, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, look, there's a box sticking through. Let me grab this. And you're like, what? And by the time you know what's going on, right, you get smacked. You know what I mean? All your stuff drops on the floor, and then if you're in the other room, you're on one of these computers, which you don't have to be, but you can see that the trap's been sprung. And you're like, oh, great, so let me go over there and collect. And then you get off of your computer station, you walk in the room, you're like, sweet, let me pick up all this guy's loot, let me put the trap back away. It doesn't matter if you activate this again, right, because the open state is on. You have to reset it. You go back into your little cove to reset the trap, you hit the red button, everything's good to go. So now if you're looking at this, you're probably going, you know what, that's cool and all, but like, what if somebody's out here and is able to pick up that guy's loot? Okay, good question. Let's kind of ad hoc this here. Let's say part of the trap is also this door, but it's open, and then the condition is going to be back to closed as our first example. So we're going to lock this. We're going to stick a door controller up here. This is very easy to adjust. I always like to stick door controllers on the seam like this because it's much harder to see as you're coming in. Like you're not going to know that's there. It also helps hide the camera. Okay, so let's go ahead and pair this door. Unlock. Let's go ahead and pair that. Relock the door always. It's just a great reminder because you can have a great trap base, but if you leave it unlocked, you're screwed. So what's really cool is we only need to add one extra piece here, and it's quite easy. Because remember, we have the inverted output. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and take the yellow line. You know, what do we use for this color over here? Oh, it's green for this line. Let's go ahead and change this back to green real quick because it'll make it easier to understand. So our reset button, to go back to trap basing, is going to be green. And remember, inverted is going to be yellow. So in this case, we're going to take that yellow wire and bring it across. Let's go ahead and try to hide it over here, up in the corner, and we'll bring it down to the door controller. Again, wire management and hiding is very important. So look, when our trap is ready to go, remember, on your memory cell, it's going to be red and green, which means it's been reset. You can go ahead and hit this. So remember, when this gets active, it's going to close this door, open this, and then close the ladder hatch. Which I guess you don't technically need the ladder hatch at that point, but it's just kind of a good trap, you know? Because in that way, it seems like maybe the door was left open. So let's go ahead and activate this in the same way yet again. Oh, sweet. Boom. Shotgun traps lay waste to you. You get peeped on by the camera in the upper right-hand corner, and then boom, your loot is now mine. So there you go. That's the storage monitor. That's what makes this so heady and such an amazing trap base activator, a switch. And a lot of people said there was no use for it, but I beg to differ. The storage monitor is probably one of the headier ways you can make a trap base. So if you want to check out the Rust Power Basics, if this was a bit too advanced, again, we'll throw that up on the end screen now. And be sure to drop a like and a subscribe. It does help out. We'll see you guys in the next live stream /video. Love ya. Bye.